up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Melissa. Thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for clicking on the video even if you've been here before. But today's video is going to be different than what I normally do. So if you're here for fashion and that kind of stuff and this is not your thing, I understand. But I made a video about a year and a half ago called Bank Teller Tips and Tricks, or how to get a job being a bank teller, that kind of thing. I will go ahead and have that video linked down below because that has a lot of information in there for you. But on that video, still to this day, I get questions almost every single day in the comments on that video, and I do answer them there, but I thought it might be helpful to go ahead and compile all of those questions and tell them to you in another video. So I have them all written down here, all of your questions, and some of you might hear the questions and say, well, that's stupid, but you know, if it's a question someone asked, then it, you know, there's no stupid question. I mean, honestly, I'm going to answer them all because, you know, someone had the question, they want a freaking answer. So that's what we're doing. So I have other bank teller related videos, like, you know, about training and about the hiring process and stuff like that. I will try to link all of those. I will not try, I will link all of those down in the description for you guys. So you can click through those too and see if there's any information in there you need. But I'm going to go ahead and start right now and answer the questions that you guys had. By the way, you guys, if you did watch that video, thank you so much, because that video is now over 100,000 views. And so I thought in honor of 100,000 views, I would go ahead and do this video. Here we go. It doesn't matter. Let's do the questions. Okay, so one of the number one questions that I got asked the most in all of those videos that I made was how to sell products as a teller. Now, during your training, they may or may not tell you how to do this, but if they do not, you will learn to pick up on clues. Some of those clues could be, say, a grandmother comes into the bank and she's chatting with you at the teller line and she tells you that she just had a granddaughter. Well, that is a clue, and that's a hint for you to offer her a minor savings account, okay? A lot of grandparents open minors savings account for their grandkids to have when they turn 18. So that's a clue right there. All right, say you have some woman that comes in frequently and you're talking to her and she says, you know what, I'm thinking about building a deck onto my house. Well, then that's a clue for you to offer her a home equity line or a home equity line of credit, because she might need those extra funds to do that. If there's someone else that says, hey, I'm going to be going on a trip and, you know, I just want to be sure and save with my debit card and my spending and keep up with that, you might want to offer those people a credit card. Now, keep in mind, you do not want to meet someone for the first time and then them say something and you be like, you got to get a credit card. We got to get you a credit card. You want to kind of establish a relationship with the person so that they trust that what you're saying is in their best interest. So I hope that makes sense. There's tons of other things to pick up on, like, you know, home renovations, you know, or that someone's looking for a new house, or my son's moving out and he's looking for a new house. Well, you might want to offer them a mortgage. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, offer to put them with a mortgage officer. You know, so there's all kinds of clues you can pick up on. I could do like a whole freaking video on its own on that. But I'm just going to leave it short because there's a lot of questions. So the next question is, what kind of questions are on the assessment? Now, this depends on the bank, because I have worked for banks, or I have applied at banks that have the full assessment before you even go into the interview. And there are math questions. There are customer service questions. There are conflict and resolution questions. So it's like, if you have an angry customer come in, what are you going to do with the angry customer? Have you ever been in a situation where a coworker was lying? What did you do? What would you do? All of that stuff. There is math. That's a question I got a lot too. Is there math? You're going to be working in the bank. You're going to be working with money. You're going to be working with numbers all day long. So absolutely 100% there is math in those assessments. And next is, what questions should I ask the interviewer? Now, you don't want to go in there and ask questions just pertaining to yourself. You want to ask questions pertaining to the job and mostly pertaining to sales and customer service. So you might want to ask questions like, what are our sales goals? You know, things that are leading up that you're going to be a good employee. You're there asking the right questions. You don't want to roll up in there and ask questions like, you know, do I have to work with everybody at the branch? What time is lunch? Can I get a smoke break? Don't ask any questions like that because they're going to be like, really? You need to go. Okay, so open-ended questions about the bank, about sales, about how you can improve the morale of the branch and make the money, make the bank money. Honestly, that's what you need to do, okay? Next, can you work at a bank without experience? And yes, you can go into the bank without any experience and work as a teller. That has been many people's first job. I have worked with college students and then people that never had a job before at all. A lot of the times, people are hired that have worked in customer service, such as being a waitress or a waiter. Believe it or not, if you're a waitress or a waiter, that customer service is helping you out a bunch and you can get a job being a teller. So no, you don't need any experience. You do not need any degrees. It will help you if you do have degrees and experience. You're more likely to get the job over someone that doesn't. But no, you do not have to. So if you feel like you would be good at the job, it's something you want to do, apply anyway. Apply, go to the interview, why not? If I get a second interview, what should I expect? Well, if you get a second interview, that's a very good sign. And if they did not ask you questions such as training, can you travel to different branches and things like that, that's what they will ask you in the second interview. Lots of sale topics and more customer service. Just the same in the second interview, pretty much as the first. It'll just be a little bit more niche down to sales and things like that. They want to know why they should hire you over someone else. What are you going to bring to that branch that the other 15 people that they hired cannot? You know, so go in there, be yourself, be charismatic, you know, be friendly and warm, and be someone that other people want to work with. Do they hire older people? Yes, they do. I had a lady ask me, and I think she said that she was going to be 54, and yes, they will hire older people. There are older ladies working in the branch. Now, most of the time, they've been there for 20 years to get up to that point, but they will hire older people if you are willing and able, and especially if you have other, you know, customer service or financial experience. So, yes, apply anyways. Even if you're older and you're like, teller's game is for young people, it's not. You can totally apply if you're older. Does the bank run a background and a credit check? And this is something that I did not mention in that video, and I wish that I would have. And yes, absolutely, 100%. They run a background check and a credit check. If you have had accounts with other banks in the past that charged off, you are on what is now called check systems. And so that is with every single bank that they plug your information in. They see that, you know, you have all these different accounts charged off, or if you have, you know, anything like that that's just way crazy with your credit, you will most likely not be considered for a banking position at all. So you do need to have that in mind. If you have any accounts that were charged off, you need to go to each one of those banks and try to get those mistakes corrected so that you can apply for the banking position that you want. That was a very good question. Thank you for asking that. What do I wear to training? To training, you will wear the same thing that you wear every day as a teller, because you're being a teller in the other branch. You're just not in your home branch yet. You're just kind of standing behind and shadowing and kind of following someone else, but you will need to still wear your business attire that you would wear to your regular branch. What to expect with an on-screen interview? Will I be speaking to a person? An on-screen interview, yes, you will be speaking to a person. It's literally just like me sitting here talking to you right now. So show up, still look good, dress nice, fix your hair for the phone or for the video interview. I mean, you don't have to wear pants if you don't want to, because they're not going to see that part of you. But I mean, I would, you know, I don't think I would not wear pants, but you know, it's exactly the same as exactly the same questions as you would be asked in person in front, you know, front of the human. You're in front of the human, you're just in front of the screen, you know what I'm saying? What to say when asked, describe a time when you had a difficult customer and how did you handle it? Now, if you have no customer service experience, obviously this is not going to pertain to you, but if you do, you just give an example of when you had an angry customer and when you were calm and when you were empathetic and how you went about fixing it. You know, all that kind of stuff. Can you work at a bank if you are a high school student? Now, as far as I know, up until this point, Maybe it will change, maybe it has, and I don't know, but you must be 18 years old to work in the bank because they have to have your social security number, they have to run your background check, they have to run your credit, they have to do all the things. You have to be fingerprinted and all of that kind of stuff. So you do have to be 18 to work at the bank. As a male, can I have long hair? And yes, you can, as long as your hair, I'm going to say you're probably going to want to wear your hair in a bun all of the time. Because you can't have it all stringy and down and dirty and greasy, and you do have to look professional and look the part. So if you are going into an interview and you are a guy with long hair, I would wear it in a bun. Honestly, that's just what I would do. And then you can always ask the manager that is hiring you if it is going to be an issue. Because if you want that job bad enough and you're willing to cut your hair, then I would tell the manager that. I would say, if my hair is a problem, I can fix it, but I know that I will be really good at this job, and I really want this job, and I'm willing to do what it takes. So, I mean, I think it should be fine to wear a bun. I don't see any problem with that because people that work in banks have tattoos all over and stuff. So, I mean, I don't see why there would be an issue with that as long as you go in there with nice hair, not greasy and crazy and frizzy. Do I need a resume to apply online? And you do need to make a resume. It's always good to have a resume that shows that you are professional, you're organized, you have your ish together, you know what I'm saying? So you do need to go ahead and make a resume, because when you apply online, there's always a tab that says upload resume, and you can just upload it really quick to that. And again, it makes it look like you're more professional, you got it together, all that stuff. If you guys need help knowing how to make a resume, I will be glad to make a video on that for you, as well as a letter of resignation, because I make some bomb letters of resignation, okay? That's if you're gonna put in your 2-week notice. But anyways, I am computer illiterate. Will that affect my chance to get the job? And yes, it will, because you will be working on the computer all day long. You will be working in all kinds of different systems that are complicated to learn at first. Once you get the hang of it, you know, it'll be fine and it'll be easy, but they are complicated. You will be on the computer all day, and you will be learning new systems all of the time. So you do need to be good at being on the computer, being good at working the computer. Should I call or go up to the bank if I have not heard back? And please do not do this, okay? Because as the interviewer, as someone who has been in the room when someone else is being interviewed, I was not the manager, but I was in the office with the manager helping with the hiring process and the questions. If someone calls back, if we say we're going to call you within 2 weeks to let you know something, or we will email you within 2 weeks, and then you call back 3 days later to see if you got the job, honestly, that's not good. That's not a good look. It's borderline annoying, and you know, you're not even listening to what we told you to do in the first place. So that tells us that you're probably not going to be listening that well if you got the job. So don't do that. If they say, hey, give us a call within this amount of time, then do that. But if they say, we're going to let you know within a certain amount of time, let that certain amount of time go. Do not go up there. Good God, do not go up there, and do not call. Do I have to be good at counting money manually? And yes, you do, because your computer will tell you how much money to give back, how much change to give back, or how much money, you know, to withdraw, and you will plug those numbers in, but you will also be counting it manually by hand back to the customer all day, every day. Even when you're getting money from the vault, you're going to run it through the cash machine, but you also have to count it manually. So if you're not good at counting money manually, I would get some fake money, mess around, play with it until you get good at it, because if you're on the teller line, 100% you have to be good at counting money. Can I use a calculator if I'm tested at the branch? And they're not going to give you a calculator. They want to know that you know how to do math, simple math, pretty easily in your head. So no, they're not going to give you a calculator if you have the assessment in the branch. Can I work at the bank if I have a GED? Yes, you can. I only had my GED, and I went to work as a teller. So yes, absolutely, GED, you can get a job at the bank. Which banks require not to sell? Now, most banks are gearing towards sales these days. I know that state employees credit unions, they do not have sales like, say, regular banks, BB&T, SunTrust, that kind of thing. They don't have the same type of sales that they have. Sometimes if you work for a small, locally owned, bank, hometown kind of bank, they won't require you to do sales or as many sales as, say, Bank of America and things like that. But working in the bank, at some point, you are going to kind of be expected to try to push some products and help the bank make money. But yeah, you can always ask in the interview, or they can tell you, but just know that if it is a bank that does pride themselves on sales and you ask that, then they're not going to give you the job. Will they hire me if I'm a college student? Yes, you can work at a bank as a college student. Like I said, as long as you're 18. I worked with lots of college students. They worked part-time, so the bank really worked with their schedule. And so yeah, I highly encourage it to be your part-time job if you are in college, because it's a great job to have. You can make, you have benefits to working in the job. You won't get benefits as in health insurance unless you work a certain amount of hours, but you will still have weekends off, which is great when you're in college. You will have holidays off and all of that kind of stuff. So highly recommend if you're in college. What is an on-call or 0-hour teller? That is someone who is employed by the bank but does not have a set schedule every week. You might have 10 hours a week or something like that, but it's someone that they can call on when they need someone, when they're down a person in the branch. It's someone they can call and say, hey, can you come in today? Hey, can you come in tomorrow? That's an on-call or 0-hour teller. Where can I apply for teller jobs? And you can always go on your local listings or Indeed, Monster, all of that kind of stuff. But you can also go to each individual bank's website. So if there are several banks in your town and you're like, you know what, I think I want to apply to this one or this one or this one, go to their website. There's always like a available positions little thing there, and you can look through there and see if they have any positions open. So you can do that to every bank. You can go to their website, and that's like the easiest way, I would think, to go ahead and find a position at the individual bank that you're wanting to work at. During the interview, do I have to know the banking products? No, you do not have to know the banking products during the interview. They do not expect someone that does not work for the bank to know the ins and outs of how their checking accounts and their savings accounts and stuff like that work. They will teach you that in training. However, if you do bring something up, just slide something in there while you're in the interview about a product, they're going to say, oh, okay, they've been paying attention. They've already been looking into things, and they're going to be good at this because they're already trying to learn the products and stuff like that. So, just maybe slide a little something in there. But if you don't know anything about the products, you do not have to. How long will it take to get the interview results? Now, most of the time, for most of the banks that I've applied for or worked for, it takes around 2 weeks. Now, it can be a lot sooner if they're in desperate need and you applied and they're exactly what you want. You can get a call back within the next couple of days. It totally depends. So just, listen to what the manager or the hiring person has to say in the interview as to when they will get back to you. Is training immediate after hire? Yes, it is. They're not going to let you work at the bank. They're not going to put you into your position until you are trained. They're not going to just throw you in there. You're going to go to training your very first day of hire. You are paid for training. Training is usually at a different location than what your home branch will be. And yes, so training is usually 2 weeks. Now, I've seen some people in the comments say that their training took 4 weeks or their training took more. Maybe it takes some people longer to catch on and longer to learn and, things like that. So that could totally depend on how quick you can pick up on things. But normal time is around like 2 weeks. And the last question I have right here for you guys today is, does the computer tell me how much to give back? And I did already mention that in one. Yes, it does. And even though it does that, which is awesome because, you can just count it out that way, you still do have to know how to count your money manually, so have that in mind. All right, guys, so that is all the questions that I have today. If you have any more questions that I did not answer, leave them down in the comments of this video, and I will be more than happy to get back to you on those. I wish you guys so much luck if you are applying to a bank. Use all of the tips and tricks that I have in that first video that I'll have linked down below, because a lot of people came back on the video and said, thank you so much, this video was so helpful and I got the job. So highly encourage you to watch that if you haven't and you're wanting to apply. And remember, if you don't get a job the first time, keep applying to different banks. One just might not be it for you. Keep applying, don't give up. If this is what you want to do, this is your dream, keep on applying, get better, do your research, and you will eventually get that job that you want. I love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and clicking on my video. Please subscribe if you have not already. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it or found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.